Good morning. It's June 11 and it's 9:15 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm Rich Positive at Critical Point. This is an audio update of what we're doing for the weekly update. Give you a little clue, some heads up, a little bit of morning brief. We're processing the weekly update. May be up to a half hour before I actually get it posted. It is a lengthy update here, but I'm doing everything from very short term to very long term. Anyway, where are we at in terms of today going into next week, and how does this fit into the summer months here? There's still a chance these grains are going higher into July, and then maybe it'll be all over for the year. Maybe it'll extend into August, September, because we got a true or major crop problem. The door's still open for that, but I'm still thinking in terms it's also possible these markets are going to trade a range until people feel more confident of what is the crop. And then they'll either buy it or sell it, and my guess is they're probably going to sell it. I just don't think this is the year for us for that crop problem. Now, so this could be a kind of choppy struggle move higher, a little bit of a roller coaster or an upward bias. But as I point out in the weekly update, I show some things in soybeans that does concern me that maybe it is all over for soybeans. Nevertheless, I think most of you want scenarios of how to play the upside into, say, July 4th. I think the trade this morning is acting like they think maybe it's all over, but my guess is they're going to flip around. So here's what I've got for you. I think you're going to see a level 4 bottom, okay, for wheat, corn, soybeans, any minute now into the first half of Sunday night trade. And unfortunately, the soybeans could take a little longer than that to find that level 4 bottom. But I think what it's suggesting is the market can be up on Monday. Now, maybe it'll only be up for a few hours. Maybe it's only going to be up Sunday night and then down. The level 4 can top that soon, but it just looks like we're at least due for a blip up. Unfortunately, the model's warning that they may want to sell all day today. But I'm wondering, maybe they sell this morning, maybe they're a bit lazy going ahead of the weekend, but why wouldn't someone say, you know, I think I'd like to buy a little something just in case it turns off more hot and dry and everybody thinks this weekend, some of the rains don't show up. And I show in a weekly update the drought monitor map. Actually, I didn't show the correct map, I'm going to show the prior week, but Iowa is increasing in their dryness and moderate drought. So keep an eye on that. So my thoughts are, there's a chance this market can pop Sunday night, Monday, okay? Zooming out, I think the larger level 3 trend and those types of traders, they're not as optimistic, not as bullish as they once were. They're maybe trading a little faster, creating some of this choppiness. But I suspect that their selling is about over for soybeans and wheat. And in corn, they really didn't do much selling, and it makes sense in that everyone's saying, you know, the report was kind of bearish soybeans and blah, blah for wheat, and yet it was a little bit friendly corn. I'm not convinced the soybean report was bearish unless you're looking at the global scene and the competition from Brazil, because Brazil is swimming in soybeans. But my conclusions are we could be looking at a level 3 buy in soybeans and wheat today, any minute now, but I could be wrong, and that the bottom doesn't occur to Monday, Tuesday, and it's dependent upon weather. If you can tell me what the weather forecasts are going to be throughout the weekend, and then also the actual weather and what kind of impact, then I can probably tell you how those very fast swings are going to unfold, but so could anyone else. And I don't think anyone can really work with the weather in that great a detail that fast. Okay, so here's something I'm thinking. If you're leaning towards buying, if it takes out all 3 markets, if they take out the overnight high, that's a positive thing, I think. If it closes above it, that's a positive thing. Those would be kind of signals that maybe it's only a level 4 pop, and you'll be wrong by early next week. But the point is, it could be the next leg higher of a level 3 uptrend for corn. It could be the first leg higher for a level 3 uptrend for soybeans and wheat. And that level 3 trend can be up all of next week. So something to consider there. And as we zoom out, it does look like we got a problem that soybeans could have already topped out, not going higher into next year. But the problem is there's an equal probability that it will be higher into July. For corn, it does look higher into July. For wheat, I think there's a chance to move higher into July. And I'll explain all that in that weekly update. I'll also go over my latest interest rate change and how it relates to inflation and some of the long-term scenarios in inflation in these commodities as well. So hopefully this has been some help, but watch the high, the current overnight high, watch yesterday's close, okay? And any other technical factors. If you can see some kind of breach of some resistance there, I would give it a chance that they're still going to try to play the upside, even though it feels as though people are just not that enthusiastic about buying grain right now, okay? Open interest continues to decline, so we know the money's leaving the market, all right? But you can still run these markets tremendously higher if you give them the bullish news, even though money won't come back into the market. All right. I really feel like people are thinking, I've bought enough here if they're in the cash market, or I've sold enough. And then I think on the speculative side, they're saying we'd actually like a little less risk and have a smaller position, but it's possible they still want to trade the way they think it's going. They just want a smaller position. That may be all that's going on here. Not the best of demand, I must say that, but I think I'm coming up with a bias of demand over supply, and still the possibility that the weather trade might offer a little bit more bullish stuff as we go into July and see how that crop is really working. Manage your risks relative to analysis of others. And past results are not necessarily indicative of future results. Have a safe great weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday unless I see any alerts coming up. My vote is I'm not as confident in prior weeks or months, but my vote is there's probably still some more upside in these grain markets, and I'm even watching the overnight high here to see if it can kind of give a signal that they'd like to buy a little something ahead of the weekend. And as always, keep an eye on those weather forecasts. Thank you.